G'day mate.
Hey everyone and welcome back to another post F1 race review video. This is one hell of a title. Anyways, we have to discuss the Australian Grand Prix. I had high hopes if you watch my preview video where we talk about the track, the history of the track, past winners, etc. I was very excited to see what will happen during the race with regards to the changes. Now unfortunately, the race for me was a bit underwhelming. Yes, we had a couple of DNFs, some slips here and there, but overall there wasn't really much fighting. No overtaking here, overtaking there. We go head to head, didn't really happen. Easy win for Ferrari, easy win for Leclerc, which by the way is the first non-Finn, Brit or German to win at Albert Park since 2006. And who won there? Fernando Alonso. Now, I want to talk about Fernando Alonso before I continue. Fernando Alonso could have had an amazing weekend. During qualifiers, he could have had pole position, if not P2, right? We've seen his qualifying laps until he crashed. The times there were or a bit ahead of Leclerc or just beneath. Obviously, Sector 3 couldn't finish. But if you look at the picture right here, yes, he would have been a bit slower than Leclerc, but maybe would have been enough for P2. Then the race itself. The race itself, at some point he was doing extremely well, but then again, some mistakes here and there from the team. He's an exceptional driver that deserved much better this weekend. Which goes into the next exceptional driver who came back and did not have an exceptional weekend, which is Sebastian Vettel. Horrible comeback weekend for him, especially on a track where he's won a couple of times before nothing went his way. Whether it's free practice, qualifying, the race, nothing went Vettel's way. And if you heard the way he's talking, I might see him maybe announce a retirement soon. Hopefully not, but if you listen to his voice, it's really not a voice of someone that's excited to drive an Aston Martin or an F1 car as of now. Then a special shout out to two drivers, one being Alex Albon and the other being Latifi. So Albon finished 10th with a Williams, so that's great, congratulations to him. And then Latifi, driver of the day for me, managed to complete the race without crashing. Congrats, very well done. And now we obviously have to talk about Sainz and then Verstappen. So it's Sainz. Bad qualifiers made him start P9, started the race extremely slow, which put him into chasing mode. He chased and pushed too hard, crashed, which has cost him the race. He acknowledges that. Hasn't really been such a great start for him, even though he was twice on the podium, but he still has a big gap to Leclerc, so that's something that he and his team will have to work on. And now the biggest talking point is obviously Max Verstappen again. DNF, could have finished second, another 18 points down the drain. Luckily for him, his partner picked up the 18 points for the team because it's going to cost them the constructors title, losing so many points already. 36 points in 3 years is very costly. Now if they want him to compete for the championship, or if Red Bull wants to compete with Ferrari and Mercedes for the constructor title, they will need to fix his car as soon as possible. DNF when you crash or somebody crashes in you is one thing, but DNF because of engine issues or other car issues is another, and that's a shame because the driver itself has put himself and the car into a position to grab a lot of points, yet the robot part of this whole thesis has failed him. Maybe mechanics has failed him as well, but then again, you don't have to put the fault on anyone. It can happen, but it needs to stop, it needs to get fixed. They have 2 weeks until Imola if they want to get more points, if they want to get on the podium, if they want Max to have a chance to fight against Charles for the title, they need to fix his car as soon as possible. And now to end this video, let's look at the standings. So number 1, Leclerc obviously, but with a huge gap, 71 points. Number 2 is actually Russell. I'm very surprised, 37 points, then Sainz, Perez, Hamilton. Now for Mercedes this is great, right? Because slow start of the season, they can't really keep up the pace, but still they are there, individual drivers are there and they are racking up points, which is also one of the main differences The huge difference between Lewis and other drivers, let's take Max for example. Lewis almost never DNFs. He manages to pick up points even on a bad day or on a bad weekend. He manages to pick up points because at the end of the year it matters how many points you have. It doesn't matter if you're like, oh, an exceptional driver, did some exceptional things in a couple of races. No, if you DNF, if you crash, you'll have 0 points. If you have a bad day but manage to get 5, 6, 12, 18 points, you get those points and those points will count at the end of the year. This is something Mercedes has been doing, even if their car cannot compete with the likes of Red Bull or Ferrari. They are still picking up those points and hoping that some other driver might not finish the race, which has happened in the past 3 races. Which is why they're number 2 in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari, huge lead as well, but then again this can change very quickly since it counts the points of 2 drivers. So it's Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren having a much better weekend than what I had expected and probably what they expected as well. Huge leap forward, but then again it can be that it's only for this particular track and then maybe in Imola they're back at 10, 11, 12, 13. We don't know, remains to be seen, but overall that's my thought on the race. Very underwhelming Grand Prix. Let's hope that the next one will be much better and let's hope that we get some competitive racing in the next races as well. That will be it for this video. Leave your comments down below if you enjoy this type of videos. Leave it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. Would really appreciate that. And I see you all in the next video. Bye bye.